Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Talking Shit with your boy Sophisticated Jerkin. Today, I want to go over this clip that I seen. It started like a couple months ago, and I seen it floating around, and it was in Nashville, and it was like the state troopers were, giving DUIs to innocent, sober people. So I saw the clip, and I was like, okay, man, definitely messed up, but like many of us, we give the benefit of the doubt to the law and stuff, but just recently I saw like an update coming out of that where state troopers were coming forward saying like, hey, we have a whole quota system that's driving all this. So pretty much, giving some validity to the people that were coming forward. Like, yeah, they were sober. So I think 600 people overall were pretty much innocent and, wasn't drinking and driving and stuff like that. But, they had to reach them quotas. So that's why, those state troopers were kind of, just slapping charges on people down there and stuff. So let me go ahead and pull up the first clip that I saw a couple months ago. Then I'll play the updated one. Cause yeah, this is crazy. Like, people always kind of like, say, man, stuff be going on and, these quotas be out here and stuff. So yeah, this, this is, those like rumor mills and conspiracy theories. This one is proving all that stuff right. So let me go ahead and play this. This is crazy though.
Investigation uncovers 7 sober drivers were all arrested for DUI by the same state trooper. Thanks for joining us here tonight at 5 o'clock on WSMV4. I'm Lauren Lowry.
And I'm Jeremy Finley. It's the latest findings in my sobering problem investigation that's uncovering how innocent people are being wrongfully arrested in Tennessee. Now, one attorney says he knew something was wrong because he kept representing clients who were sober but were being arrested for DUI by state trooper James Zahn. Among the troopers responding to Hunter Lundgren's car crash on September 29th.
You have anything to drink at work?
No, sir, not at all.
Was Trooper James Zahn, who after talking to Lundgren in the ambulance had real doubts about his sobriety.
Cocaine.
Oh, he's on some. He's some kind of upper.
Yeah. I'll do field sobriety on you real quick.
Yes, sir, sure thing.
You did a field sobriety test with a
Broken nose with blood all over me with cuts and lacerations. Yes, so he decided to go ahead and do that. He thought that was a good idea.
And after that,
That's crazy. And, like that dude going through all that like trauma and stuff, probably like out of it, he's going to do this test. So yeah, definitely this is fraudulent right here. But that one state trooper, yeah, he was looking like they must have had like a whole, I know they had a quota system, but they must have had like a prize go out to the top person because he was like, shit, I'm slapping DUIs on everybody. I'll pull you over, you getting one. So yeah, he must have been trying to go for like employee of the month, some shit like that. But that's crazy.
field sobriety test.
Turn around.
Yes, sir. Whoa. I have not been drinking, sir. Sir, I really haven't been drinking.
Lundgren was taken into custody, charged with a DUI by a trooper, again, who had made this prediction before the field sobriety test.
Oh, he's on some. He's some kind of upper.
So your blood work came back
Came back
completely sober.
completely sober.
The blood test results, no alcohol, no drugs.
For an officer of the law to be on the force for 20 years
I didn't get close enough to smell him,
and not know the difference between somebody who just had a car crash,
but his eyes are bloodshot and watery.
someone who's drunk, or someone who's on drugs, that's inexcusable.
What Lundgren didn't know is that just 2 months earlier, Zahn had arrested another driver for DUI who asked that she not be identified. Her blood work would show no alcohol, no drugs. And 3 months before her, Zahn would arrest Adam Filyaw, not just for DUI.
But it was also carrying a firearm while under the, influence.
Knowing he faced even more serious charges, he was relieved when his blood test came back negative for alcohol. His drug toxicology only showing he had amphetamines, which he uses for ADHD. Both charges against him dropped.
The crazy thing with all this now is just like nobody's, when they have to submit tests, because I know like, where I work, man, I always have like protocols. Like if there's like things coming back and the test is clear, I'll be like, hey, man, we need to look at something, man. What are you doing? So for this to hit this many people and people don't have like some oversight or like they got to get another level of approval, or somebody's like, okay, we got to overlook this. That's the crazy part. But I mean, if it's systematic, that makes sense. Where if they have quotas, it's like, yeah, y'all better get out there and run these numbers up.
Maybe he needs to go back to training.
And 6 years before them, Zahn, then a Williamson County Sheriff's deputy, arrested Charlie Smith for DUI. His blood work, no drugs detected. As for alcohol,
mine was 0.00 alcohol. He's done this repeatedly.
in fact, in May of 2019, Smith's attorney, Eric Larson, wrote to the then Williamson County Sheriff, citing 2 additional cases where sober drivers were arrested by Zahn. Charges dropped in both cases, writing, "We do want Zahn to understand the consequences of his decisions."
You've got innocent tax-paying citizens, good people who they've got to go to jail. They've got that humiliation. They've got to pay to get released.
In addition to all these,
and not just that, man, you know, people got to take time off work. And then it's just like, you know, you got to pay the lawyer. So it, you know, it could be costly and stuff. So yeah, it's just not just like the humiliation piece. It's just like all that stuff holistically. And then, you know, say you got to tell your boss like, hey man, I got to go there for a DUI. Cause you know, at some jobs, like, man, you got to have a very clean record. So, you know, just even mentioning some things, you know, could possibly get you in, you know, bad trouble and stuff like that. So yeah, this stuff is messed up. You playing with people's lives here.
these cases, fast forward to February of this year, Tracy Sprouse would become the 7th sober driver documented in court records to be arrested by Zahn for DUI. Her blood work would later show no alcohol, no drugs in her system. Before her arrest, she was playing pickleball.
Now I have like PTSD when I see a police officer with its lights on.
When you see the same officer, same trooper in this situation that has it happen multiple times, well then you obviously have to look at a training issue.
I think this is a product of a systematic failure from the top down.
You're putting a lot of trust in the people.
At the top of the THP is Colonel Matt Perry. For months, WSMV4 Investigate has been asking for an interview with Perry. We also asked to speak with Zahn as well. Once again, the THP told us they had no one available to do an interview. We wrote back and said we pushed back our deadline to offer more time, but no one responded. So last week, WSMV4 Investigates came to a THP press conference. But after he was done speaking, Perry took no questions and immediately got into a car with a driver.
Colonel, this is Jeremy Finley with Channel 4.
He peeled out. He was like, damn that. He's like, I know what the hell's going on. So I wouldn't even talk to, looking back now, because like when I seen this, keep in mind, this is a couple months ago. But I was like, damn, that's kind of weird that he don't want to speak. But now it makes sense. It's like, shit, this was way bigger than just these 7 people, you know, because it's like rooted in his whole like leadership was faulty. So it makes sense why he peeled out like that.
And drove away. None of the people interviewed by WSMV4 Investigates say they have received an apology from Zahn or the THP. All Lundgren did get is nightmares.
Every other night, it's another nightmare. And I've been working with my therapist just constantly the bad dreams, constantly reliving this experience.
God, you just feel for these people. Jeremy, so you were able to confirm 7, but that's not an official number.
Yeah, that's right, Lauren. These are the only cases that we have found, either by drivers coming to us or attorneys who alerted us. Now, as we've reported so many times now, the number of DUI arrests are tracked by police agencies, but no one has ever gone back to see if the people arrested were innocent. And I've got much more to bring you because I have found yet another case of a sober driver charged with DUI arrested by yet another trooper. Take a listen.
I was upset from day one. When they put the handcuffs on me, I was upset. I lost all my respect for THP that night.
Coming up next at 6 o'clock, that driver's story and the total number of how many sober drivers have been arrested by state troopers that we found so far. Lauren?
I know you've had.
Damn. So yeah, nah, he's putting the pieces together. Like I said, this was a couple months ago. So I seen it. I was like, okay, man, it's just isolated to a couple of state troopers. You know, that's messed up, but, you know, not a major thing. Because, you know, I was just looking at it as an isolated incident, probably like many people where it's just like, damn, that's fucked up. But you know, get him out of there, fire him, get him off the force. But when I seen the update today, I was like, God damn, 600. And then other state troopers were coming forward like, hey, nah, we had quotas that was driving this thing. And that's one thing, you know, they need to change the whole system of quotas versus like, man, just go do your job. And somebody, you know, like they mentioned in this clip, there needs to be better training. And, you know, if you do smell stuff, give the test. But it's like, okay, let's make sure that we're looking at the results of the test and stuff. And we can't have this repetitive stuff, because if you look at it, everything's documented. And then, I mean, if you're sitting there, you got quotas to, you know, bring in revenue. I mean, this is going to be probably a big ass lawsuit. So it's like, man, the money you think you're bringing in, you're literally going to have to pay that shit right out. Because I don't know if y'all caught it. The people that was the terminology they was using, they was like PTSD. I had nightmares. That's I'm about to get this lawsuit terminology. So nah, they were smart for like, hey, I'm about to get paid. Yeah, I have PTSD. If I see the police, I have nightmares. So that lawyer, he's about to get paid because he sent the letter to him too. So you know, you would think at that time when he sent that letter, like they'd be like, all right, man, we starting to get some eyes on this. Let's start reining this shit in, you know, let's move past it. But they were like, nah, fuck that. This is a cash cow. Y'all quotas is still on. So that just goes to show even the cockiness and, oh, we ain't got, man, we are the law type thing, you know, fuck it. So what if this lawyer is like kind of looking in? But I don't think sometimes people think in a digital or information age, man, I'm glad like news cycles is picking this up. People are reviewing stuff. So it's like this stuff is getting traction and stuff. So it just, man, people better start waking up and realize like this ain't the old school days where we ain't all had all this technology and people like putting the pieces together. Because shout out to this reporter right here too that's getting this information for the public and putting it out there and stuff. So yeah, this is how you kind of push back against some of this stuff. All right, let me go ahead. Let me play the updated part where they're talking about the state troopers are coming forward and kind of giving some validity to those people that was in the original one that was like, hey, man, I was sober and, you know, they still gave me some charges and, you know, kind of violated my rights and stuff. So, yeah, let me go ahead and play this.
This is corruption. We're ruining people's lives. We're being forced to ruin people's lives.
Former state troopers are coming forward tonight, blowing the whistle, they say, on a quota system that's leaving innocent people charged with crimes they did not commit. Good evening. I'm Lauren Lowry.
And I'm Marius Payton.
I'm Tracy Cornett. The next time you're out driving on the interstate, especially late, you're going to be thinking about what WSMV4 Investigates has now uncovered.
Chief investigative reporter Jeremy Finley is here with the latest on his sobering problem investigation.
Well, guys, what we've uncovered is more than just two former troopers coming forward about
shit. This dude, what's the prize that they give to reporters? They need to hook my man up because this is a pretty big story when you look at it like that and how long he's been covering this. Because like I said, the first one, that was a long time ago. And this is the current one. So he kind of been on this story for a minute, though.
What they say is a system designed to pressure troopers into making as many DUI arrests as possible. We've also obtained a secretly recorded meeting and internal maps that troopers say explains why so many innocent people are being charged with DUI.
We've told you about Thomas Manis's arrest and Stephanie Fair's and Candace Slade's and all the other people arrested for DUI by state troopers when they were completely sober. But we've never heard from any of the troopers who've arrested sober people for DUI until now.
This is corruption. We're ruining people's lives. We're being forced to ruin people's lives.
Do you know if you've ever arrested a sober driver for DUI?
Yes, sir. I'm sure I have.
Former troopers Ashley Smith and Adam Potts say there's a reason so many innocent people have been arrested for DUI in Tennessee by state troopers. A reason, they say, revealed in these internal maps and recorded audio from a troopers meeting in Chattanooga.
And real quick, because this is, you know, Tennessee is starting to become like a powerhouse, you know, especially like the Nashville area. So it's like, man, for them to kind of do this, you know, when a lot of people are starting to migrate there, it could hinder, some of that growth and stuff. Cause yeah, I think, you got that many people get DUIs cause they got a real party downtown where, man, it started picking up. Cause I know me and my wife went down there and it was like, damn, they got it was packed, a lot of people hanging out. So I was like, damn, this is about to blow up. A lot of large corporations moving down there. But it's just like, man, you start getting this kind of systematic thing where you're targeting innocent people. Like it get easy. People are like, you know what, man, I'm not going out that way. So yeah, they messing up the state money, man. That's why hopefully they cleaning these dudes out. Cause yeah, they messing up a good opportunity for the state.
Arrest every DUI that you can get your hands on.
We've always thought this was a great thing because you want to get drunk drivers off the road. Do you feel like that this push to get DUIs is eventually having a negative outcome?
Absolutely. There's pressure to arrest DUIs.
Potts says it's not just pressure.
It's a quota.
I have to ask you, did you ever feel pressure just to pull someone over and arrest them for DUI just to make a quota?
Absolutely.
It's something directly addressed in recorded audio from a meeting with Captain Patrick Turner out of Chattanooga, obtained by WSMV4 Investigates.
I'm passing on the message of what the command staff wants. What does hard work look like? Well, it could look like arresting 100 plus DUIs a year.
In that meeting, it's stipulated to troopers on the midnight shift, 100 DUI arrests will be required each year per trooper.
If there's DUI, I want you to load the jail full of them.
Turner also talks about consequences when it comes to how many DUI arrests are made, as well as contacts, meaning drivers pulled over each shift.
You turn in 33 DUIs per year and 1.7 contacts, you're going to get spanked.
But despite what you just heard, this is what the THP email.
Hold on, let me stop it right there. That's crazy. And I'm so glad, man, they got him on tape because, yeah, man, he's literally like breaking down the formula. Like he must have sat there and like you need 100 a year and 33, 1.7 contacts. So it's like, man, you're going out your way, man, just stopping people versus like you see something out of the norm, then pulling somebody over. So yeah, this is pretty messed up, man. And like those people just going about their business and you sitting there like, man, you are causing trauma to people, could possibly messing up their livelihoods and stuff. So yeah, this is kind of sinister when you start thinking about it, man. This is fucked up.
Us. Quote, the Tennessee Highway Patrol does not have or use quotas for traffic stops, citations, or arrests. And there's more. In emails obtained through the Open Records Act, Captain Bruce McCarley sent out maps this year. Subject line, DUI map. It shows every county in District 8 and every trooper with a number next to it. These former troopers say those are the numbers of DUI arrests made by each trooper.
What is the message to you all?
Damn, let me go back real quick. That motherfucker had 20 on there. he was like, shit, I ain't about to be on that chopping block. So yeah, like 21, 7. They had one highlighted with brown, like, hey, he gotta step it up. So yeah, they had a metric system. So shit. Yeah, this is definitely quota.
DUI arrests made by each trooper.
What is the message to you all? Why send this out to troopers?
You're not doing good enough because somebody else is beating you with the DUIs. You need to do better.
These former troopers say there are incentives for troopers to make DUI arrests.
The advantage of arresting somebody, whether they're really drunk or not, is I continue to get that premium overtime.
So does that translate to troopers feeling like, if I'm working this shift, I've got to find somebody to arrest?
Absolutely.
For full transparency, both Potts and Smith were fired by the THP. Potts pleaded guilty to leaving the scene of a single car accident involving his personal vehicle.
I made a mistake. I had to crash off duty.
And the THP is seeking to decertify Smith, accusing her of helping a family member to get out of a DUI. She's fighting that claim before the state.
The THP may simply...
Oh, so they try to muddy up their name. They're like, hey, look, they both got issues. That's why they coming up for it now. So, but just kind of getting back to it, it's just, damn, this is messed up. So yeah, I mean the emails, the recordings and stuff. I mean, even if they want to kind of like throw these two under the bus and, like I said, muddy up their name, it's like, man, y'all got documentation. Y'all sending stuff in emails, so it's like, nah, y'all done definitely put the bow tie on this case. So yeah, y'all about to pay out. But that's the sad thing, because it's just like, I get it, man. A lot of places are cash strapped now. But it's like they start relying on these schemes like, oh, we need some quotas, man, because we got to bring that money in. But it's just like, hey, man, you might have to cut back a little bit and you might not be able to get the overtime. It's just like, man, you need to do stuff right, because it's just like I said, we live in this digital age where it's going to get caught up and then you're going to be paying out them lawsuits. So it's like when you're thinking you're bringing in money or you're doing something clever, it's almost like, man, 3 years, you're going to be, all that money's going out the door. So it's like, even the city, it's just like, who knows how much they're going to have to pay, because these things be up in the millions. So it's just like, these people that have them fraudulent mindsets, they just set everything back. And then it's just like, now the people that were doing the right thing and stuff, they have to kind of wear that jacket now and have that whole stigma on them. So yeah, this stuff is just stupid.
Say that you're just a disgruntled employee and that's why you're coming forward.
I would have said something before if it wouldn't have been career suicide for me.
As for what the THP says about their claims and everything else we've obtained, we don't know.
Colonel, this is Jeremy Finley with Channel 4.
After we tried to speak with the head of the THP in August and he drove away in a car, we once again sent our findings to them, asking for an interview. Instead, they sent a statement reading in part, troopers are highly trained and expected to use their judgment and make necessary traffic stops based on observed violations and public safety needs.
I think they really don't care about the citizens. I think they care about the way it looks, the perception.
Yeah, they're going to have to clean house, because I know on the recording, they was like, man, the command wants this. So yeah, it's like they got to remove all that leadership, retrain everybody. Then, they're going to have to pay out a ton of money, because yeah, that's open and shut right there. So that lawyer was on top of it. But shout out to that news reporter too, that team that was putting that information out there. Because yeah, that's bad when you getting at the citizens like that. And like I said, that city, man, Nashville's a great city, man. Great opportunities out there. So it's like, man, you can't be having people doing that, stuff out there. Because if, say that kept on picking up, but people keep speaking about it, and, they're getting them negative, storylines that's coming out where people's like, hey, man, you might not want to go to a party down in Nashville because, dude, they pull you over for anything. That stuff does stick with people, where people are like, yeah, I'm avoiding that shit. And, they got a lot, like I said, great city. So, nah, that type of stuff could definitely mess it up. But all right, y'all, man, yeah, this one was messed up. I was like, shit, let me go ahead and cover this one. Because, yeah, like I said, I've been tracking it for a while, but I didn't realize how big it was. I thought it was just, like, isolated to that state trooper. But it seemed like that top leadership was just like, look, y'all, I got these metrics cards right here. Y'all better get up out there and get these numbers up. But all right, y'all, keep tuning in. Peace.